Welcome to Rails, Ales, and Old Towns. There's something undeniably romantic about the thought of falling asleep in one European country and waking up in another. And on this special episode, I'm joined by someone with a passion for night trains who is personally bringing the experience to travelers. Chris Engelsman is the co-founder of European Sleeper, a new brand of overnight trains that launched in 2023. And during our conversation, Chris shares what makes European Sleeper unique, highlights some of the standout moments along their route, and teases what's next for the brand. Naturally, we also swap a couple stories from the rails too. All right, let's hop aboard.
Follow the gap between the train and the platform.
All right, let's welcome to Rails, Ales, and Old Towns, Chris Engelsman, the co-founder of European Sleeper.
Thank you very much. It's an honor.
Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate you joining me. First, I just want to say congratulations on everything you've accomplished with European Sleeper so far. How's it feel?
Yes, it's a exciting journey, I would say. Starting your own rail business is of course a dream come true, but also it's fascinating to be doing in practice with all kinds of things we would never have thought we would have to do. And yeah, it's lovely.
So you're saying that there's some complications involved with launching a rail company. It's not just as simple as signing up.
Definitely, and it's ups and downs as well, because sometimes the bureaucracy is fascinating at the same time as it's challenging, but also the support and the network that you build within this railway industry, but also with community of fans, of night train fans, that definitely exceeds our expectations big time.
For those who might not know European Sleeper, there might be a few people out there still. You just give me a quick little intro and a little bit about what you're all about and how you got here.
Yes. We started a night train operations, a railway dedicated to night trains in Europe. We started that initiative, I think 5 years ago. We thought, let's give it a try because we need more night trains around. And that was an initiative by two private individuals, my co-founder and me. We thought there is an open access market where you can rent a train, you can apply for a slot on the tracks, and you can and start selling tickets. So that's what we're doing. And we have our first train operational now for more than 2.5 years. And it runs 3 times a week up and down from Brussels and Amsterdam to Berlin and Prague.
I want you to take me back to that first night in May of 2023, when you're standing in Brussels at the station and your first train rolled off.
Yeah, that was magic. But you have to be aware, in a way, that was the moment. But in the weeks before, we had been doing everything on that train already. Having said that, seeing the passengers on the train, informing the passengers about where to go, and then start trying to realize it is actually your own train. 11 coaches, a locomotive in Brussels, South Station, the main station, heading for the capital of Germany. Difficult to realize.
For people that aren't, big, into the workings of the European rail, what percentage of the trains that people are generally riding on are run by like government versus what you have, which is a private thing? Now, it's a little different than private because we're going to talk about that in a minute, but yeah, just generally, how unusual is it to have a train company that's not run by a government entity?
No, it hardly exists. I mean, it's there's a few other examples in Europe, but I think one of the elements that's constraining the growth of international train travel is that it's still left to state-owned railways, and they're more bothered by their domestic trains than an international train network. So this is, I think this is a crucial step, and we are, of course, still relatively small with one route, but we have big plans, luckily.
So you're in a rare group.
Definitely, yes. And that is also very exciting. We love it to do that, to challenge the existing markets, because we do believe also from a business perspective that there is a huge demand, which is not catered for at the moment. People want to travel by train instead of being on an airport, stressing around for a short flight, or being on a bus all the time, or driving yourself for 15 hours. There's no existing trains offered to them. So that's why we really believe this is a huge market. Somebody needs to step in.
You didn't just arrive at this randomly. You've been a rail fan for a while, and specifically night trains.
Yes, my father used to work at the railway, so that explains quite a bit. And when we were young, we were always traveling by train across Europe, and preferably night trains. But especially as a student, it was at the time there were plenty of night trains around, so you could save on hotel costs. You would have an exciting experience with some friends in these compartments at night, having a drink, etc.
What are some of your favorite memories on trains? What are the ones that stick out?
More exciting memories is actually that used to be, or it's still there. I think it's a train operated from Vienna to Kiev in Ukraine. At the moment, it's not. It's used by all kinds of officials now and again. By the way, presidents, premier, they don't travel to Ukraine by plane because it's too dangerous. So they are on night trains to Kiev. Some of them, I heard, they love it as well. I mean, it takes a bit of time, but it works also for them. But I was, to answer your question, I was on a train 15 years ago, I think, with my children when they were a bit smaller. And then, but at the border of Ukraine, where you have to change the bogies because of the gauge of the tracks are a bit broader there.
So this is like, because the actual physical track is a different width.
Yes, and they have a very smooth way of doing that. They lift the whole train a little bit, and they take out the bogies, and then they shunt in the new ones. It works fine, but then it turned out that my daughter was on the bed where the tools were. They had to wake her up in the middle of the night, knocked on the door, said sorry. Very funny experience where, and they needed some stuff underneath, and then we had the opportunity to watch that whole process in the middle of the night. The shunting. Normally you sleep. Yeah? You don't see that, or you don't experience that. So that was a nice thing.
Have you ever made any friends on a train?
Yes, plenty. I'm not sure if I have long-lasting friends now that I met on the train necessarily, but at the moment, I think it's always very nice to be on our own train and to get introduced to the passengers and to tell about European Sleeper and the initiative. And they love the train, and then it's a really nice way of seeing people traveling around.
It fills you with joy a bit, to see how many people are having fun. There is something special about the night trains and the camaraderie that goes on in the hallways and the compartments and things like that.
Yes, it feels a bit like another small community for just a night, right? You're stuck with each other. You have to find a way. And it generally works out very well with people having a chat, or at least you feel you're on the way and walking around a bit. And I also like that vibe a lot. But should not be a surprise in my case, but I think many more people. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was on a train once from Paris to Barcelona and overnight, and I was just sitting in the seats, classic backpacker style in the seats.
Yes.
And, there was a gentleman behind me. He was a basketball journalist.
Oh, really?
And then there was a couple other people there, and we all talked for like a couple hours and, about our trips and our lives. And I remember he took a picture and he sent it to me in an email, and I cherished that I had it. I think I've lost it now, but for years I would look at that and be like, wow, I never talked to him ever again.
Yes.
Didn't connect on social media. This was like early days of social media, but it was just a special few hours, and I still remember
you do
this.
Still remember.
That's
nice. Yeah.
I think I wonder if that guy's still covering basketball. I don't know, but it was just cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's really nice.
You mentioned this a little bit. We kind of teased it, but this isn't just any private rail company. You're really unique in how you're structured and how you came about.
No, the special case, in essence, it's about the support of the night trains, which is huge. People really like night trains and want night trains on track. So that made us think, when we started about 5 years ago, what would be a way to raise capital. We could do all kinds of applications with a plan to a bank. Right? And that will take a long time, probably, get you into loans and risks. And so we decided in an early stage that it would be the best way to involve that night train community and to make people part of the initiative. So we have a community of about, I think, almost 5,000 investors at the moment. On average, they invest 1,500 euros from 280 euros to be part of this initiative, to be co-owner. You invest a little bit more, you get a discount on the trains, things like that. And people, yeah, it is a way of crowdfunding. But what we do is we sell shares. So we sell shares in the company. So it's co-ownership, and it's not for us. Of course, it's crucial, the financial support. So the seed capital came from that, but also growth capital. We are raising at the moment, by the way, so people can still step in and join the company. But it's also in terms of support. So with their knowledge now and again, being ambassadors for the project, traveling on the train. So it's a very, very supportive community of shareholders.
So you don't just get to ride on the train, you can own a part of it.
You can own it. Yeah, that's it. Yes.
And how's it going, just in general so far?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're growing quickly. We're almost profitable. So we're around break even. Hopefully next year profitable, which of course is challenging in a way, but a regular thing with starting a train. And we have plans for new routes as well. First route, by the way, the passenger numbers are increasing with 20% this year again.
From 25 from 24?
Yes. And we already transported more than 200,000 passengers. And so in the summer months, for instance, we have more than an average of 500 people on every train. That's exceptionally high for night trains in Europe. I think, I don't know the exact details of our competitors, of course, but on other trains, it's usually much lower. So I think we're doing very well.
That's great to hear.
What is the gap between the train and the platform?
Okay, well, I just wanted to take a second to say thanks for listening to Rails, Ales, and Old Towns. I hope you're enjoying this episode and that it's helping you get excited for your next European adventure. Be sure to check out the link in the episode description, because there you'll find all the information you need if you decide to follow up on the places and topics that came up on the show. Oh yeah, if you are digging the podcast and you had a spare minute, I'd be forever grateful if you were to leave a review or a rating on the platform you're listening on, as those little things do go a long way. And if you really want to get crazy, why not give me a follow on Instagram or Facebook at Rails, Ales, Old Towns. Back to the show.
What is the gap between the train and the platform?
I guess we should talk a little bit about this route. It leaves in Brussels, it arrives in Prague, but there's a lot in between, and this happens 3 times a week, each direction.
Yes, that's right. We leave from Brussels around 7:30 in the evening. And Brussels is a nice departure in a way, Brussels, because it's really a big city, and the train winds through that a bit. You have some city views, which is nice. Then late evening from Amsterdam, I think it's 10:30.
Yeah, so you've got your time to have almost an evening in Amsterdam before you get on the train.
Indeed, that's nice to have dinner and get on the train. Some people find that late with children, for instance. It's a bit late. When I go with the children, I usually I'm living in Amsterdam, but I get on in Rotterdam. I travel back a little bit because I want them to enjoy the traveling through the Dutch landscape and being on the train, enjoying the compartment and the cozy situations, and before making the bed, and so then into the night. And then the best cityscapes are in Berlin in the early morning. around 6:30. And the good part is there that we travel over the, I think, 5 kilometer long viaduct, totally through the city center. So you don't have to do a city tour anymore if you just take the train. Because you see the Alexander Tower, you see the Reichstag, you see the river, you see the clubs. There's a few at the riverside, and you see the party going on. It's really nice.
Still at 6:30 in the morning. Well, this is Berlin.
Yes. So it's a lovely introduction to the city, and you see everything. Fascinating. It's a really, and the good part is that the windows can open. This is we call it our vintage train. But opening the windows in summer when it's early morning, and then traveling through Berlin and see all the highlights and the people around still having a party or doing the early morning walk or whatever, that's a really nice, lovely experience.
And then it's on to Prague, but that's where you kind of almost finish with a bang.
Yes, but yeah, and the best part is, for me personally at least, is that the part around the border between Germany and Czechia. The train travels along the Elbe Valley, through the Elbe Valley, along the river. Really nice landscapes, some rock formations that you can have. You can also get out there, get off the train and have a nice holiday in the nature reserve there. It's really beautiful. But also the traveling all the way to Prague is nice. It's along the rivers. You can see again, with open windows, you can see the train winding along the river. You see the boats, you see the villages. It's lovely.
Yeah, no, I mentioned it on this podcast, one of the early episodes, but one of the moments when I fell in love with European rail travel was a train from Berlin to Prague.
Oh, really?
I'd been sleeping and I woke up and just, had to be in that Elbe Valley, somewhere past Dresden. We kind of forgot to mention Dresden, but Dresden has a beautiful, gorgeous
also really nice
on the river too.
Really nice, yes.
True underrated destination there.
Yeah, no, and that's what we also like, is that they call it Saxon Switzerland because it's in Saxony. It's with the rock formations, but also Dresden as a city, and the combination is perfect.
Brussels, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Berlin, Dresden, Prague, Bad Schandau, that's in that Saxon Switzerland area. A few other little stops too.
We have in northern Czechia and Decin, we have a stop. It's actually a nice place, and it's also a good place to change trains for the rural Czechia, which is really, really charming with the small towns, and you can have another small train into the woods, so there's other opportunities. But but most people travel on to Prague in the end.
So could you just give a little bit of a breakdown of, if someone's never been on the train, what they can expect? Because you've got different seating options. And
yeah, we have 3 comfort levels. It's the budget that is seating. So you would be in a seat. It can be cozy in the compartment. It's not our core product, but there, especially in summer, people backpacking on Interrail passes, Eurail passes, they like that, and the vibe is good generally. And but it's for the budget traveler. And the main comfort level that we offer most is we call it classic now. It's also been called a couchette coach. It is a coach with 10 compartments. It has a long corridor on the one side, and then 10 compartments on the other side. And each compartment there are 5 places. So during the day, it's seating. You could have a table, you can have a drink, you could do a board game or whatever, or just relax. And then in the night, you can change it into 5 beds with the bedding. Comfortable way of traveling. I mean, it's a really nice way. But we also have our comfort class, where you have a bit more luxury. A very classic coach from 1956, I think. It's really nice. It looks also very, very stylish from the outside, with steel kind of. It's really old-fashioned, nice train coach. And there you have a bit. You are 3 people in the compartment, and you have seating, and you have a mattress and a duvet provided, and welcome drink and breakfast included, etc.
And this would be you, for your traveling party alone. You would book that compartment for yourself.
You can, yeah. You can also buy. There's also still people who want the luxury but can't afford to have the whole compartment. They can share.
Okay.
All options are available. So in all categories there are private options. If you say I want a compartment with my own group or family, and then we see that I think the train is very suitable for that. So we see a lot of single, double travelers. I think about half of all the passengers travels in a group of 4 to 5, 3, 4, 5. In Europe, there's this thing that everybody thinks that flying is less expensive than a train, or is dirt cheap. But in the end, I think on most days and on most situations, we compete very well on price with airlines.
And you have a lot more fun.
And a lot of more fun. That's it.
And more lifelong memories when you look back at your photos. And I want to give you a shout out for letting dogs come on.
It is. We have dogs can be on the train.
I'm excited about that. I'm hoping at some point in the next couple of years, my wife and I and our two little hounds are gonna come across on a ferry to Amsterdam, and then we'll catch the train in Amsterdam over to wherever we go.
Nice. You're most welcome. And we only ask you to book a private compartment, as other travelers may not want to travel with your dogs. You never know. But that's so we definitely allow dogs, cats. I think we limit it to that because you never know what other pets you
don't want to just open it up. Yeah.
No.
What's this European sleeper Weizen beer?
Yes. We had. I think it's sold out now. We have to ask the brewery. We at some point we did ask a local brewery here. It's at 10 kilometers away to do to brew a specific beer for our train, because it's operating to Germany. So we decided it should be a Weizen, and to sell it on the train. And I think it's a little bit more expensive than the average beer that we sell on the train, but people like it, and it's good. I mean, the taste is good, and it's also a sort of a memory kind of thing. You have the can.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. I immediately zoned in because I'm like, not only are you selling your own beer on the train, which is a great idea. Weizen is my favorite type of beer. So
yeah, it was a nice one. Yeah,
it doesn't get as much love. So thank you.
I could send you one, but I think they're sold out.
Well, hopefully there'll be another
batch. Yes.
So what can we expect in the next few years then? I guess that would be looking forward. What should we look forward to with European Sleeper, and what's new for right now as we enter into the winter of 25 and 26?
Yes, we are almost there with preparing a new route. It would we think we can announce it in a few weeks even. Make it final and get all the contracts together and the whole lot. And that would be to Milan or to Barcelona. And hopefully also starting next year already. We expect September, October next year.
So you're going to leave us in suspense, either to Milan or to Barcelona.
Yes, we don't know yet exactly. We now think Milan will be first, but I have to be. I can't pinpoint it exactly at this point. And but it's a very exciting route, both of them. And the Milan route opens up a lot of opportunities, because we would start in Brussels, or at least have a stop in Brussels. Hopefully start in Amsterdam, and it would travel through Switzerland, which is really, really nice. First of all, it's a beautiful route in terms of landscapes, but it's also a nice destination. And Switzerland, northern Italy, we're looking forward to it. It's
okay. So you're not going to break the news on Rails Ales Old Towns, but keep your eyes peeled. It might happen soon.
Yes, that's it.
I know you had a dining car running once. Is that possibly something that could return?
Yeah, we would love to have it return, but that's also a challenge. And we had a good experience. We had it for a few weeks last year. It was a pilot project. And in terms of the customer experience, it was very successful. People love to be on a dining car on a night train. It makes a lot of sense. Just commercially, we have to see because it's not easy to get it profitable in itself. But it's also it is a nice extra feature on the train.
So you're willing to possibly lose a little on that if you can.
Yes, that's it. Yes, it would attract extra passengers, right? And then it pays for itself again. But first of all, without a proper dining coach, it doesn't work. I mean, if it breaks down all the time, it doesn't make sense. So we're making a plan.
Okay, we'll keep our eyes.
I think in a few years. Yeah.
Well, Chris, I'm looking forward to getting on and taking my first ride on one of your one of the European sleeper trains, whether that's the classic route to Prague or it ends up being one of the new ones. It's been fascinating to watch the journey over the last couple of years, and I'm really excited to see what happens next.
Thanks very much for having me, and hope to see you on the train. Great to talk to you.
See you on the train.